That's just the hockey gods going, not today! Hat Picks. Hello friend, Steve Dangle here, and welcome to another episode of Steve's Hat Picks, where we take a look at the best from around the NHL over the past week. And speaking of the past week, this week's edition of Steve's Hat Picks is all playoff highlights. Nothing but. Why not start with the Florida Panthers, because I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. Panthers are currently down 3-1 in their series to the Boston Bruins, but they're not going down without a fight. Check out Matthew Tkachuk between the legs.
Hunter stays out on the ice as he moves up. Flipping around behind the net. Trying to dig it off the back. Now they tuck it in and they score! Tkachuk at the side of the net. And the Panthers are right back in it. End of his shift. Keep an eye on Tkachuk. He's going to end up in front of the net. And it's just a puck that looks like it's stuck on the outside of the net. Allmark thinks it's gone out to his right. But Tkachuk on the backside goes between the legs in the empty net. And you can see the Boston Bruins around. They're there, but just not quick enough. As that's a creative goal by Matthew Tkachuk. And now this building is brought back to life here.
It's amazing because that's like the third or fourth Matthew Tkachuk between the legs goal we featured on Steve's Hat Picks. Every now and then I have to remind people in these videos that skill has never been higher in the NHL. Never. And players can just do things regularly that used to be once-in-a-generation one-offs. Matthew Tkachuk doesn't do that to hot dog it. He does it because it's a practical way for him to score. What a play and what a player. That's a hat pick. This next one's gross. People forgot about Taylor Hall.
Long for Nosek. They'll shovel it out center.
They're having a tough time getting possession.
Uh-oh. They got it now. It's Hall and on goal! And he scores! The dagger! Taylor Hall on the breakaway. 5-2 Boston. And they're closing in on a 3-1 lead in the series.
Here they are, North Hockey, JJ. It's that puck just out of the zone. Taylor Hall has Gudas going one way, and he pulls Bobrovsky the other way. And, you know, Gudas here is going to try to play up, and there's that little play by Taylor Hall. And as he collects himself, Bobrovsky out of the crease on the forehand. He sells it to the backhand, and then back against the grain, much like the Nick Foligno goal the other night.
Now, you might have watched that goal and gone, but Steven, I didn't forget about Taylor Hall. No, the Panthers did. He had a breakaway. I know he's not old, but this reminds me of vintage Taylor Hall, and by that I mean junior Taylor Hall. Listen, he has struggled to find team success in the NHL. I will give you that. Although I think that's come to an abrupt end now that he's been on the best regular season team of all time. But also, that dude won back-to-back Memorial Cups. He can play in the playoffs. And you know what? I gotta shout it out because I always say, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal. This was Linus Allmark with a nice play behind the net to Nosek, who does just sort of Hail Mary it up the ice to Taylor Hall, but it all starts with an actually pretty smart play by the goaltender. So if you're a goaltender, tend the goal unless it's a good idea not to. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, maybe you can help me with this one. How does Connor Hellebuyck keep this out?
Pietrangelo will hand it off. Stone for Pietrangelo over to Eichel. Quick pass across. Is it in? Save made by Connor Hellebuyck. What a stop on the one-time shot.
Eichel thinks this is in the net. We're going to have a good look at it here. What a great save right there by Hellebuyck coming across. And if that puck is in his glove, I don't know how the heck it could be in the net. And you're never going to be able to tell anyway, even if it is. It's inside the glove. I think he's going to get away with this one, even if it did cross. You'll never be able to figure it out. What an outstanding save by Hellebuyck.
Once again, I ask you. I gotta say, I do appreciate the Vegas Golden Knights. Hey! When they're right, they look like geniuses. When they're wrong, they look like silly geese. And the Vegas Golden Knights were honking on this one. That is a hat pick. For our next hat pick, this is probably the loudest ovation I've ever seen for a puck that never crossed the line.
Back into the corner, it's Engvall. Engvall walks it out. New York filling it now. Here comes Thompson. Out in front. They score! Hudson bashing. No, it's not. Wow, the whole place thought it was in.
The linesman signaled that it went off the goalpost in behind Raanta. Off of Fasching right there in front. He sticks it, and it goes off the post, and so close. Jarvis with his glove helps his goaltender out before it can completely cross the red line.
That's just not fair. Like, I gotta feel bad for Islanders fans on that one. That's just the hockey gods going, not today! Because we don't feel like it. Shut up. Seth, Jarvis, and Antti Raanta somehow keeping that one out. That's a hat pick. Wow. Not done with the Hurricanes and Islanders series, Jacob Slavin has the confidence that most of us can only ever hope to have. Because generally speaking, shooting the puck from behind the goal line is unsmart. Unless you know you can pull it off like Jacob did here.
And so until they prove it, they're going to have to keep.
Burns back across. Karam's off of Pulock.
They create a lot of chances. It's just the finishing.
Slavin scores! Wow! We are tied in the third.
Flourishes offensively because of his play. Set play coming down here. The puck ends up coming back to him. And good for him to just recognize that he's got to lay into the net. How about the fact that he's a left shot? He's below the goal line. Banks it off of Sorokin and in.
That he even thought he could do that is incredible. The fact that he pulled it off? How? That kind of confidence could take Carolina very far in these playoffs. That's a hat pick. This next hat pick, I think, goes out to the fans of Seattle more than anything because the goal in itself is somewhat ordinary. It's nice, but it's a goal. But Jaden Schwartz scores the first ever Stanley Cup playoff goal for the Seattle Kraken in Seattle. Listen to the ovation.
Wenberg dumps it in, gives chase, goes after Girard, delivers the check. Wenberg walks out in front, saved by Georgiev in tight, rebound available. Rodriguez stripped to the puck. Schultz scores! It's Jaden Schwartz!
Well, it's Schultz with the shot, Schwartz with the tip. The veteran goes right to the front of the net, wins a battle, deflects that puck into the net with a backhand. Beautiful hand-eye coordination. Georgiev, no chance to make that save. The building explodes, and Seattle up 1-0 early.
Jaden Schwartz, a former Stanley Cup champion with the St. Louis Blues.
God, that goal horn, so underrated too. What a moment for the city of Seattle. That's a hat pick. Now, unfortunately for the city of Seattle and the Kraken, Nathan MacKinnon is not of this world.
Rodriguez sidesteps the check. Beg your pardon, McCarr. There's Rodriguez behind the goal. Byram rotates from MacKinnon. Stutter step. Sidesteps Donato. MacKinnon scores! Nathan MacKinnon with a snipe! And Colorado has blitzed Seattle for 2 early goals in the third. It's 5-3.
Seattle's top offensive player. MacKinnon dancing in the offensive zone, walks right around Donato, goes short side and buries it. Seattle's got no answer right now for the Avalanche.
2 goals in the span of 1:28. And just as Seattle had carried momentum to the end of the second period, Colorado.
How? The Avalanche just continue to miss piece after piece after key piece. All of them from last year's Cup-winning team as well, and some of them come back and some of them don't. The one constant seems to be Nathan MacKinnon domination. That is a hat pick. This next hat pick is a collaboration between a player who's had a bit of an up and down season, but it's on the up right now, and a player who is criminally underrated. Here's Evgeny Dodonov and Miro Heiskanen.
Johnston hit from behind by Steele and took another pop from Kaprizov. Heiskanen fires on net, save made by Fleury. And the rebound guided to the corner. Johnston and Spurgeon come together. Heiskanen has the puck. Shot pass, score! Deflected home!
On point shots. And Heiskanen does a great job. I mean, heads up, is able to find Dodonov off to the side. I mean, you talk about a heads-up play by a skilled D-man. Most D-man would just rip that puck to the net, but Heiskanen had his head up, knew Dodonov was presenting his stick, and a perfect tip. by Dadonov.
You know, they talk about certain players being easy to play with, and you're like, good? They're just good? And I feel like that's more often than not the case, but there can be good players who just think the game on a different level, and you're not on their level. A lot of people are not on their level, and they need the right fit to play with them. But Dadonov knows, you're on the ice with Miro Heiskanen, put your stick on the ice. He does, and I tell you what a setup, but what a tip from Dadonov. Gross! This Dallas-Minnesota series, underratedly great. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, this has actually never happened, but a player for the Minnesota Wild, Marcus Johansson, actually purchased the Dallas Stars mid-playoff round, and he is now their owner.
I would have to say that LA loaded on that right side. Brent Clark, a 7th overall pick. Dursey, Doughty. Johansson, a shot. He scores!
Area just inside the blue line, and right here he gets around Miller. Kind of a self-pass, and then just finds a hole on Ottinger, but what a play by Boldy. This forecheck, right there, he strips him from the puck, and then that pass up and around on an individual effort from Johansson.
Ooh. You ever see a move so nasty you don't even want to say the defenseman's name? You don't even have to point out anything they did. It's just like saying their name is mean. I'm not gonna say his, but I will say the other guy's name. Marcus Johansson. That's a hat pick. Speaking of bonkers series, Edmonton, LA. I had this going. Game 7, double overtime from day 1. With the series tied 2-2, we're right on track. Why not start with Victor Arvidsson's spin move?
It's continued here in game 4. Trevor Moore crossing the red line, rink wide. What a move by Arvidsson! Scores!
His side, you're going to see this pass across hard. At the same time, he takes it on the forehand, but spins to the backhand around Desharnais. Protects with the body. Very difficult for defensemen to reach in and not take a guy down. That's just a terrific move on the line, and he gets in alone and picks his spot. It's Trevor Moore that finds him in motion, and he doesn't try and force a pass in that situation. Takes his shot, puts it home. Vinny Desharnais shaking his head on the bench, knows he got caught a little bit aggressive on that line.
Arvidsson is so underrated, and maybe he won't be after this series. I mean, there's so many things to like and be distracted by with the LA Kings. There's their trade deadline acquisitions like a Korpisalo or a Gavrikov. There's their young players who are only getting better and better, like a Byfield. But the conversation with the Kings over the last few years has been they need to get more offense. This year the need was definitely goaltending, but previously it was offense. The quote-unquote big move was to get Kevin Fiala, and he's extremely good. They also went out and got Arvidsson, and even though he's a little guy, come playoff time, few players have an answer for him. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, staying with the Oilers and Kings, sometimes you just need a performance from someone. Edmonton's down 3-0 in Game 4. It is not looking good. And Stuart Skinner, who was an all-star this season, was replaced by Jack Campbell.
Hyman and Yamamoto out there together with Nugent Hopkins. A chance! Arvidsson's in! Campbell with a fabulous save as he used his left pad to stop that puck.
And hunting pucks to the inside, and it's a nice play on the wall to Arvidsson, and he walks to the forehand. What a save by Jack Campbell, and Moore had another good chop at this puck at the last second. Can't find.
I tell you what, man, if the Oilers win the cup this year, they might remember that Campbell had a tough season, but I guarantee you they won't care. That is a hat pick. Lots of hat picks. How about a hat trick? John Tavares scores a hattie at home for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The Leafs so quick on the power play, didn't get a chance there either. Here's Riley, in front, scores! John Tavares! In Toronto, the Lightning getting one back, but here comes Nylander, storming in Riley, back to Nylander, rebound scores! John Tavares! Nice play by Marner to knock down a clear. He's got it behind the net. Piece there by Bogosian. Cycles it back towards Tavares. He'll walk out in front. Backhand stop. Held loose. Scores. At the end of the 5-on-3, So it's a 5-on-4 power play goal, and it's 7-2.
Now, what is the record, I want to know, for biggest hat ever thrown onto the ice? Because I think this one comes close. Now, Tavares scoring that hat trick does lead to some depressing stats when it comes to the Leafs in playoff hockey. It's always something like John Tavares becomes the first Leaf to score a hat trick in the playoffs since Orville Redenbacher in 1850. The focus in these playoffs is not ancient history, it's writing history. That's a hat pick. And for our last hat pick, it's a long one. It's all the overtime winners we've had so far.
They trade passes. It's Doughty now from up top. Back to Kopitar. He takes a look down low. One-timer. They score. It's Iafallo, the overtime hero, as the Los Angeles Kings steal game 1 here in round 1 against the Edmonton Oilers.
Wheels and deals center circle. Off to Steele. Harley pokes that pass to the corner. It ends up right out in front. Shot, score! It's over! And who does it but Hartman?
For the Islanders, clutching his face.
Good job from Matt Barzal recovering that puck as Mayfield went down.
Foss scores! The overtime winner!
Batting at that puck. Couldn't get it too far. Velarde still on it. Pass in front. They score!
3 shots for Vegas as Villanueva loses to the puck. Hit by Howard. Sandberg put it up. This game Barbison in front scores! Michael Amadio!
Had a very nice year for the Rangers, primarily in penalty killing. Bratt one-on-one. Bratt twisting, finds Hamilton. He scores! Dougie Hamilton, an overtime game winner, and New Jersey is right back in the series.
As he was right around Connor McDavid. Evan Bouchard. Long range pass. Zach Hyman moving in. Wrister shoots. Scores! Zach Hyman!
Are there any more? Oh, there's more? Morgan Riley. Oh, did he score a playoff goal? I didn't know.
Maybe we will have a Stanley Cup Saturday night doubleheader here after a score! It's over! And the Leafs have won it! Morgan Riley is the Game 3 hero tonight!
Here's my calm reaction to all that.
We'll have a
reminder, a statistical thing that has always bugged me, a shot off the post is not a shot, and they score! The Leafs score! They win it in overtime! That one's a shot, that one's a goal, and the Leafs take the 2-1 series lead bedlam in Maple Leaf Square! I am gonna pass out! That was fun. That's a hat pick. So, what'd you think of this week's edition of Steve's Hat Picks? Let me know in the comment box down below, but for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Good grief, I think Steve's Dang It's is going to be a long one on Thursday.